attention. Please, we are about to begin the remarks, which will take the form of a question and answer between myself and Donald Trump, and Victor Pinchuk will introduce Mr. Trump.
Donald, do you hear us? Donald?
I hear you beautifully, Victor.
Super, thank
beautifully.
you. Glad to see you. It was nice to see you in New York.
I hear you, Victor.
Super. Great that you are together with us tonight. It was nice to see you in New York. And we are here, we really follow your election. And for us, it was extremely important and interesting to listen what you said about importance of support of Ukraine. And that's why it was our idea, it was our dream to convince you to deliver, to tell something about your position, about your opinion. And thank you very much that you are here tonight with us. And I just wanted to ask Douglas Schoen, my friend and advisor.
Thank you very much, Victor.
Thank you, Donald. To be moderator of this extremely interesting discussion. Thank you very much. I wish you all really interesting conversation. And Douglas and Donald, floor is yours.
Donald, very nice to see you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Tonight, what we're going to ask you to do is to explain in as clear and open-ended fashion as you'd like why you're running for president, what you hope to accomplish, and why you are different from the incumbent administration. So if I can begin with the first question, why are you running for the presidency now?
Well, thank you very much, Doug. And, you have a wonderful person in Doug, and Victor I've known for a long time. And he is a tremendous guy, tremendous guy. So it's a great honor to be with everybody.
And Donald, the first question would be, what do you...
The reason that I'm running is I love my country.
And I guess my question...
And I think, Doug, there's a major sound delay, but I think what we'll do is I'll just continue to go forward.
Please do.
So I love the country. It's a great country. It's a wonderful country, but it's having a lot of problems. We look at the kind of business that we're doing in the United States is so much different than it had been in the past. We've made absolutely terrible trade deals. Our military is not what it once was. We have a lot of problems in a lot of different areas, including health care, including just about everything that you can think of. My feeling toward the Ukraine and the entire area is very, very strong. I know many people that live in the Ukraine. They're friends of mine. They're fantastic people. Victor is an example. Victor, by the way, is a very, very special man, a special entrepreneur. And when he was up seeing me, I said, I think I can learn more from you than you can learn from me. My feeling is that with respect to the Ukraine, people have to band together from other parts of Europe to help. I don't think that the Ukraine is given the proper respect from other parts of Europe. And this is a respect that the Ukraine deserves, and they've proven this over the years, over many years, but it's a respect that they absolutely deserve. So whether it's Germany or other of the countries, I don't think that you're getting the support that you need. The United States has been supportive, but more verbally than anything else. Our president is not strong, and he is not doing what he should be doing for the Ukraine. So far, we have all lip service, and in this country, we call it just that. It's lip service and nothing else. Part of the problem that Ukraine has with the United States is that Putin does not respect our president whatsoever. It cut off.
Donald, your last comment was that Putin does not respect our president.
Yes, now it's back.
Good. If you could elaborate on that point and on your vision for our foreign policy with Ukraine, that would be, and indeed
Okay.
the world, that would be very useful. And you need not wait for any translation.
Okay. Putin does not respect our president, and you know, it's just one of those things where it's just not happening, and we're talking about many, many different elements, but it is a big problem. And it's a problem that is taking place all over the world with respect to the United States. There's a lack of respect for our president, and there's a lack of respect for the government itself. So this is something that really, you have a problem, but many other countries have a problem, and frankly, the United States itself has a problem. This cut out.
Donald.
I can't hear them anymore.
Donald, you are leading the polls on the Republican side by a substantial...
Okay, now it's back.
You are leading the polls by a substantial margin. On the Republican side, you're even or ahead of all the Democrats. Can you explain for our audience why you think you've done as well as you have and what it means for America and the world?
Well, Doug, I think that, you know, new polls have just come in today, and they are really they've been amazing. It's just cut out again. There's no sound.
The last thing we heard was that the polls are amazing, and you were going to elaborate.
The sound system, yeah. The sound system is terrible because there's a huge delay and there's also a lot of feedback, but I think everybody understands what I'm saying, I hope.
Donald, everyone has understood, but I think it would be useful if you could explain why you think the American people have responded as they have and what the implications are for the U.S. and the world of your candidacy.
The U.S. needs strength, and they need a strong leader. We do not have a strong leader right now. We have a leader that waffles. We have a leader that has no vision. We have a leader that's making a deal with Iran, which is one of the worst deals I've ever seen in my entire life. We have a leader that is willing to sign documents that nobody would sign, make some of the worst contracts that anybody has seen. And I think that the people are really registering, Doug, that they need strength. They want strength. They want somebody that knows what he or she is doing. And that's something that we don't have right now in the United States. And I think that's why, in terms of polls, I'm doing so well. I'm doing, tremendous numbers, way ahead of everybody else. It's it's been an amazing experience for me. But they want somebody that's strong, that can take our country to a new level, and frankly, can make America great again.
Donald, you've spoken before about the American military and what you would do. How would the American military be strengthened, operate differently under a Trump presidency?
The military under my presidency would be very greatly enhanced, hopefully to a point where we wouldn't have to use it. The military would be strengthened tremendously. We're cutting military, we're cutting back on just about everything in this country, and military seems to be a main target. Our military would be very, very strong under a Trump presidency. I would take care of the vets, which frankly have been treated like third-class citizens in the United States, but I would also enhance very greatly and strengthen very greatly our military, hopefully to a point, Doug and Victor, where we wouldn't have to use it, because frankly, we're not respected to the same extent that we were in the past. You look at what's happening, and I alluded before to the deal with Iran. The deal with Iran is absolutely horrendous in terms of our country. It's going to need, in my opinion, lead to nuclear proliferation. It's going to lead to lots of bad things. You look at elements of the deal where we're paying $150 billion upfront, ridiculous number, ridiculous to do it. You have 24-day inspection waiting periods, and actually the 24 days could be a lot longer than that, and so many other elements that it's absolutely ridiculous, including the fact that Iran has the right in certain instances to self-inspect. So if I am someday in the not-too-distant future in charge, I will tell you in a nutshell, our military will be a whole different level. It will be much stronger, much more powerful, much more in a ready position, and hopefully we will never have to use it. But if we did, especially in this volatile world that we have today, we will be using it.
Donald, another question on that theme, the role of U.S. leadership in the world, the role of the U.S. president in providing leadership. Could you speak about how you would approach those subjects?
Well, the United States is an amazing place. It's got tremendous potential with the right leadership. And right now, obviously, that leadership doesn't exist, but has tremendous potential. As a world source and as a world, you could almost say, I want to be a cheerleader for the world. I want the world to be a safer place. You look at what's going on right now in the world and throughout the world, there's conflict everywhere, whether it's the Middle East, you look at Ukraine. I mean, you're in one of the great examples of all time. Look what's happening with Ukraine, with Russia. There's no respect for the United States. If I win, there will be great respect for the United States. They will respect us. And again, we will make statements, and I think those statements will be honored. The fact is that Ukraine is an amazing place. You know, I've known so many people, so many years in the Ukraine. These are people that want what's good, they want what's right, and they're not being treated right by the United States. And also, by the way, and I hate to say this, they're not being treated right by Europe itself. They're not being treated right.
Donald, one question on the economy. the role of the president as an economic leader. Obviously, your business success is extraordinary. How would you be effectively an economic ambassador, an advocate for American business, both here in Ukraine and around the world?
Well, I love the idea of free trade, Doug, and I think it's a great thing, and I'm a free trader, and I believe in it. The problem is that we don't really have good free trade because the United States is a country that's being taken advantage of by almost everybody. We don't have good trade deals. And one of the reasons we have so much money going out, one of the reasons we owe $19 trillion, which is an unthinkable number, and by the way, it's a number that's going out, it's going up and going up rapidly, is because of the fact we have such bad trade and trading policies. We should be taking money in. We're losing our jobs. We're losing money and income. We're losing our base. We're losing manufacturing so much, and it's going to lots of other countries. I will be able to change that. I'll be able to change it quickly. We will not be taken advantage of, and countries like the Ukraine that need help will be there to help them. And we just think there's great spirit. I will say this. I've been watching the news. I've been reading so much about Ukraine over the last 6 months to a year. It's amazing what you've had to endure. You've endured a tremendous amount. And I just think it's all going to work out well in the future for the Ukraine. The people are tremendous. The spirit of the Ukrainian people is absolutely incredible. The Ukrainian people are special people. And one of the reasons I'm even doing this right now is that I know so many people that live in the Ukraine. They're incredible people with incredible spirit and incredible heart. So I think it's going to work out well ultimately for the Ukraine. I do think the United States should be somewhat more proactive. I think that Europe has to get very much more involved.
Donald, one final question on an issue that we are doing, indeed related issues, which is the role of global terror, ISIS, the migration crisis. What would you say about those issues and our role?
Well, the migration problem is such a horrible thing on a humanitarian basis. When you look at what's going on with the thousands and tens of thousands and probably ultimately millions of people flowing all over Europe and flowing through Europe. And some countries have really opened up and they've done a beautiful job. You look at what Germany's done. They have really done, maybe they haven't been of such great help to the Ukraine like they should be, frankly, but they certainly have been much more open-minded and open-hearted as far as the migration is concerned. And the problem you have with the migration, you're talking about potentially just millions of people. You say, where does it stop? I think the United States has probably got a lot of their own difficulties right now. And you're talking about a region that's so far away and transportation, everything else very tough. Now, the other day and I was reading about and seeing and hearing about and talking about a free zone, really a safe zone, someplace in Syria where you can have a really safe zone and have large numbers of people living in that. Now, this would have to be supported by some of the other countries, by all of the other countries. You know, if you look at the Gulf states, they are taking nobody, and they've got tremendous wealth, tremendous money. They have to be doing more than they're doing. But you could have a safe zone someplace in Syria, because I don't know how the world is going to be able to take the kind of numbers of people that you're talking about. It's going to be very, very difficult. And as you know, the United States has tremendous problems with its borders. And I think one of the things and one of the reasons that I've gone to #1 in the polls is because I brought up the fact that we have tremendous illegal immigration in the United States, which is really hurting our country in terms of crime and in terms of lots of other things. So we're working on that problem. We're working on it very hard. I think we're going to be very successful in the run. I think I have a very good chance of winning. If we win, I think we're going to be able to solve the problem in the United States. We're going to build a wall. We're going to have people come in, but they're going to come in legally. As far as all of the migration that we're talking about throughout Europe, that is a huge problem. And I do like the concept, after pretty thorough review, of a safe zone someplace in Syria and maybe other places, because, frankly, I don't think Europe can withstand the onslaught of what's happening right now.
Donald, let me turn it back to Victor Pinchuk for a few concluding remarks.
We just lost him.
I'm sorry?
We just lost him.
Oh, okay. I think we have lost Donald Trump. It was, after all, the last question. Let us thank Donald and Victor and enjoy the rest of the evening.